My beloved child, I see you in this moment, even as you sit quietly listening, even as your heart carries questions you have not spoken aloud, even as your strength feels thinner than it once was. And I want you to know before anything else that you are not failing, you are not forgotten, and you are not alone, because I am with you right now, closer than your breath, nearer than your own thoughts, and I know how heavy the days have felt, how the nights stretch long when sleep will not come easily, how you try to be strong for others while inside you feel worn and cracked, wondering how much longer you can keep going like this. And I tell you gently that it is not a sin to feel weak, it is not a shame to be tired, and it is not a lack of faith to admit that you are hurting. Because even the strongest trees bend under fierce winds, and even the deepest waters are stirred by storms, yet they do not cease to be what they were created to be, and neither do you. I know the quiet prayers you whisper, the ones that sound more like sighs than words, the moments when you ask me why progress feels slow, why answers seem delayed, why doors you hoped would open remain shut. And I do not turn away from those questions, my child, because I am not intimidated by your honesty, and I do not withdraw my love when you feel confused or discouraged. For I walk with you through valleys as faithfully as I walk with you on mountaintops, and I am teaching you something precious in this season that cannot be learned in comfort alone. You see weakness as something to hide or overcome quickly, but I see it as a doorway, a place where your heart opens and my strength can flow freely. Because when you finally admit you cannot carry everything by yourself, you make room for me to carry it with you. And I never intended for you to live this life relying only on your own power. Remember how I spoke to those who followed me long ago? Weary fishermen, anxious mothers, broken sinners, people who felt overlooked and unworthy. And I did not demand that they become strong before coming to me, but I said, "Come to me," and in coming, they found rest. And that invitation still stands for you today, not as a command spoken harshly, but as a promise offered with love. I know you have tried to fix everything at once, to plan your way out of pain, to control outcomes so you would not be disappointed again. And I understand that desire because you want safety and peace, yet control has weighed you down more than it has protected you. And I am asking you now to loosen your grip, not because I want to take something from you, but because I want to give you something better, a deeper peace that does not depend on circumstances changing overnight. There are things unfolding in your life that you cannot yet see clearly, small shifts in timing, quiet preparations behind the scenes, connections forming, lessons taking root, and though you may feel as if nothing is happening, I am working patiently and precisely, aligning what you need for the future I am preparing you to step into, and no season of waiting is wasted when it is placed in my hands. My child, I know the disappointment you carry from past failures, the regret over choices you would change if you could, the fear that maybe you missed your chance or fell too far behind. But listen to me closely now, because I am not bound by your past, and I do not define you by your worst moments, for I specialize in restoration, in taking what feels broken and making it strong in ways it was not before, and I can redeem years that seem lost and paths that seem closed. When you feel weak, do not rush to condemn yourself or compare your journey to someone else's, because each soul walks a unique path, and I measure progress not by speed or applause, but by trust, by the quiet decision to keep walking with me, even when the road is unclear. Let me remind you of something important. Your value does not decrease when you struggle, and your worth does not rise when you succeed in the eyes of others, because your worth was settled the moment I chose you, loved you, and called you my own, and nothing you face now has the power to undo that truth. I am strengthening you in ways you cannot yet feel, building endurance in your spirit, softening places in your heart that once hardened under pain, teaching you compassion for yourself and others, and preparing you to carry blessings without being crushed by them when they arrive. Because what is coming requires not only talent or effort, but a heart anchored in me. So breathe, my beloved, and let go of the pressure to have everything figured out today, for tomorrow will bring its own grace. And today, I ask only that you remain with me, speak to me honestly, rest in me willingly,
and trust that even in your weakness, especially in your weakness, my strength is being made complete in you. And this is only the beginning of what I am doing in your life.
My beloved child, I know that right now you feel uncertain about the road ahead, as if you are standing at a crossroads without clear signs, wondering which direction will bring peace and which might lead to more pain. And I want you to listen closely to my voice in this moment, because even when you feel lost, you are never without guidance. Even when clarity seems absent, you are never without purpose. And even when you cannot see the full path, I am still leading you step by step. I see how your mind replays questions again and again, asking what you should do next, whether you are making the right choices, whether your life is unfolding as it should. And I know how exhausting it is to carry that uncertainty alone. Yet I gently remind you that you were never meant to see the entire journey at once, because faith grows not by knowing everything ahead of time, but by learning to trust me in the present moment. There are times when I intentionally allow the path to seem unclear, not to confuse you or test you harshly, but to draw you closer to me so that you learn to seek my presence rather than just my answers. Because when you walk closely with me, you will not miss the way even if the road curves unexpectedly. You have been trying to figure everything out with your own understanding, weighing options, listening to many voices, comparing advice, and while wisdom has its place, too many voices can drown out the one voice that brings true peace. And I am inviting you now to quiet your heart, to sit with me, to let my peace become the compass that guides your decisions rather than fear or urgency. Remember, my child, I do not rush you, and I do not push you forward before you are ready, because I see the full picture of your life, including the parts you have not yet reached, and I know the timing that will protect you, strengthen you, and prepare you for what is ahead. When you feel lost, it is often because you are standing between what was familiar and what is not yet revealed, and that in-between space can feel uncomfortable, lonely, and frightening. But it is also a sacred space where transformation happens, where old attachments loosen, where new trust is formed, and where your heart learns to lean on me more deeply than before. I know you sometimes fear making the wrong decision, worrying that one step could ruin everything. But I tell you gently that my grace is greater than your mistakes, and even if you stumble, even if you choose imperfectly, I am still able to guide you back onto the path meant for you, because your life is not as fragile as you think when it rests in my hands. There are doors I have closed for your protection, though you may not understand why yet. And there are doors I will open at the right time, not a moment too early and not a moment too late. And until that time comes, I ask you to remain faithful where you are, to tend to the responsibilities in front of you, to grow in patience, and to trust that waiting does not mean being forgotten. I see how you long for assurance, for a clear sign, for something unmistakable that tells you what to do next. And while signs can come, guidance often arrives quietly, through a sense of peace that settles in your spirit, through a gentle nudge that aligns with love and truth, through doors that open naturally without forcing, and through a growing confidence that you are not walking alone. My child, do not measure your direction by the speed of others or the timelines you see around you, because comparison will only steal your joy and cloud your vision. And I have never asked you to run someone else's race, only to walk faithfully in the one I have set before you. Even now, as you listen, I am aligning your heart, calming your fears, and reminding you that you are held, guided, and known. And though you may feel unsure today, this season of uncertainty will not last forever, for clarity will come, strength will rise, and the path will unfold one step at a time as you continue to trust me. When doubts whisper that you are wandering aimlessly, remember this truth: I do not lose those who seek me, and anyone who sincerely desires my guidance will not be left without direction, because I delight in leading my children, not into confusion, but into life, hope, and peace. So take this moment to breathe, to release the pressure to decide everything at once, and to place your trust back into my hands, knowing that I am walking ahead of you, beside you, and within you. And even when the road feels uncertain, it is still under my care, and I am leading you towards something good, something meaningful, something prepared with love just for you. My beloved child, I know how deeply discouraging it feels when progress seems slow and prayers appear unanswered, when you look at your life and wonder why things are taking so long while others seem to move ahead with ease. And I want you to hear me clearly right now, because delays are not denials, and silence does not mean absence. For even when you cannot see movement, I am working steadily on your behalf in ways far beyond what you can measure or imagine. I see how you count the days, how you replay your efforts in your mind, questioning whether you did enough, whether you tried hard enough, whether you somehow missed the right moment. And I know how easily discouragement creeps in when expectations are not met. Yet I tell you gently that my timing is not meant to frustrate you, but to protect you, to prepare you, and to position you for what will last. There are seasons when growth happens quietly, beneath the surface, like roots strengthening in the soil before a tree ever bears fruit. And if those roots were rushed, the tree would not stand when storms come, and neither would you be able to carry the blessings you are praying for without being overwhelmed by them. I know you feel tired of waiting, tired of hoping, tired of believing again after disappointment. And there are moments when you ask me why I would allow your heart to desire something so deeply if it was going to take this long. But understand this, my child, your desire itself is not a mistake, and your waiting is not pointless, because what I am shaping within you during this time is just as important as what I am preparing for you. You are learning patience that is not passive, trust that does not depend on immediate results, and resilience that does not collapse under pressure. And these qualities will serve you long after this season passes, anchoring you when circumstances change and expectations rise. I see how discouragement tries to whisper lies into your heart, telling you that nothing is happening, that you are falling behind, that maybe your efforts do not matter. But those whispers do not come from me, because I speak life, and I remind you that every small act of faith, every step taken in obedience, every moment you chose to keep going when quitting seemed easier, has been seen, remembered, and woven into the story I am writing for you. There are connections being aligned, lessons being learned, timing being synchronized, and even obstacles being used to redirect you towards something better than what you originally imagined. And though you may only see the delay, I see the protection, the refinement, and the preparation taking place. My child, do not underestimate what I can do in what feels like an ordinary, uneventful season, because I often do my deepest work in hidden places, away from applause and recognition, where hearts are shaped and faith is tested, not to break you, but to strengthen you. When you feel discouraged, remember that discouragement often comes when expectations are high and patience is stretched. And that does not mean you are weak, it means you care deeply, and I honor that. Yet I invite you to bring that discouragement to me rather than carrying it alone, because I am gentle with the weary and faithful to those who trust me, even when answers are delayed. You are not being punished by waiting, and you are not forgotten in the pause, for I am attentive to every detail of your life, and nothing you are experiencing right now is outside of my awareness or my care. There are things I am sparing you from that you do not yet recognize, paths that would have led to unnecessary pain, burdens that would have weighed you down, and lessons that would have been harder to learn later. And one day you will look back and understand why the delay was necessary, why the waiting mattered, and why the timing was perfect even when it felt painful. I know you sometimes feel tempted to rush ahead, to force doors open, to settle for something less just to escape the discomfort of waiting. But I ask you to trust me enough to resist that urge, because what I have for you is worth waiting for, and what arrives in the right season brings peace rather than regret. My child, do not let discouragement convince you that you are running out of time, because I am not limited by clocks or calendars, and I can restore, accelerate, and redeem in ways that defy human expectations. And what feels delayed to you is still perfectly on time in my plan.
Even now, as you listen, I am renewing your strength quietly, lifting the heaviness from your heart, reminding you that your story is still unfolding, and this chapter, though challenging, is not the conclusion. Hold on a little longer, keep trusting even when it feels hard, and continue walking with me one step at a time, because I am faithful to complete what I have begun in you, and the work I am doing right now, unseen and often uncelebrated, is preparing you for a future that will make sense of the waiting, heal the discouragement, and reveal just how closely I have been working for you all along.
My beloved child, I know that beneath your prayers and hopes there is also fear, quiet but persistent, fear of what the future holds, fear of repeating past pain, fear of stepping forward and discovering that the road is harder than you expected. And I want you to know that I do not dismiss those fears or shame you for having them, because I understand the human heart. I know how deeply you long for security, for assurance that tomorrow will not hurt the way yesterday did. And I speak to you now with tenderness so you can rest in this truth. Your tomorrow is not empty, unknown, or abandoned, because I am already there, holding it gently in my hands. You imagine the future as something fragile, something that could break if one wrong decision is made, but I see it as something guided, watched over, and shaped with care. And even when unexpected turns come, they do not catch me by surprise, for I walk ahead of you, preparing the way, softening what needs to be softened, strengthening what needs to endure, and protecting you from what would harm you more than help you. I know you worry about provision, about stability, about whether you will have enough strength, wisdom, or resources to face what is coming. And I remind you that you have never truly walked alone. Even in moments when you felt abandoned, even in seasons when you thought you were surviving by your own effort, I was there, sustaining you in ways you may only fully recognize later. Fear often grows when you look too far ahead, trying to solve problems that have not yet arrived, carrying tomorrow's burdens on today's strength. And that weight was never meant for you to bear, because I give grace one day at a time, strength for the present moment, and light only for the next step. Not to frustrate you, but to keep you close to me, trusting me daily rather than relying on your own foresight. My child, I see how past disappointments have taught you to be cautious, how past wounds have made you guard your heart. And while wisdom is good, fear that paralyzes you is not from me, because I do not lead my children by fear, but by love, truth, and peace. And perfect love drives out the fear that tells you everything ahead will go wrong. You are afraid sometimes because you care deeply, because you have invested your heart, your effort, your faith, and you do not want to be crushed again. And I understand that. Yet I gently ask you to trust me with your vulnerability, because closing your heart to avoid pain will also close it to joy, growth, and the blessings I desire to give you. I am not asking you to pretend you are not afraid, but to bring that fear to me honestly, to lay it at my feet, and to let me replace it with assurance that you are held, guided, and loved beyond measure. There are things in your future that will require courage, yes, but that courage will not come from you alone. It will rise within you because I am with you, strengthening you in the moment you need it, not before, not after, but exactly when the step must be taken. You worry about failing again, about being disappointed again, about whether you can endure if things do not turn out as you hope. And I tell you this with compassion. Even if things unfold differently than you expect, I will still be there, turning what feels like loss into wisdom, what feels like pain into depth, and what feels like endings into new beginnings, because nothing in your life is beyond my ability to redeem. My child, I am not leading you into the future to abandon you there, but to walk with you through it, moment by moment, joy by joy, trial by trial, and I will never demand strength from you that I am unwilling to supply. When fear whispers that you are not ready, remember that readiness is not about having everything figured out, but about being willing to trust me as you move forward, even with trembling steps, because faith is not the absence of fear, it is the choice to walk despite it, holding tightly to my hand.
I know you sometimes imagine worst-case scenarios, rehearsing pain that has not yet happened, and I ask you to pause, to breathe, and to bring your mind back to this moment, because right now you are safe, right now you are sustained, and right now I am speaking peace over your heart, reminding you that you do not need to borrow trouble from tomorrow. Your future is not something you must conquer or survive alone. It is something we will walk through together, and I will never lead you into something without also providing what you need to endure it and grow through it. Trust me with what you cannot control. Release the fear that keeps you awake at night and rest in this promise. I am holding your tomorrow just as faithfully as I am holding you today. And as long as you walk with me, there is no future you need to fear, because my love goes before you, surrounds you, and will never let you go.
My beloved child, as you listen now, I want you to notice something gentle and true happening within you, a quiet steadiness replacing the heaviness you carried before, a soft sense of hope rising where fear and discouragement once sat. And this is not by accident, because I have been speaking to your heart, layer by layer, restoring what felt worn down, reminding you of who you are and whose you are. And I tell you now with certainty that what I have begun in you will not be left unfinished. I do not start works that I abandon halfway, and I do not awaken faith in a heart only to let it fade without purpose, because my love is intentional, patient, and faithful from beginning to end. You may not feel dramatically different, you may not see instant changes in your circumstances, yet something important has shifted inside you, a deeper trust, a calmer strength, a willingness to keep walking even without all the answers. And this inner renewal matters more than you realize, because it becomes the foundation upon which lasting change is built. I know you still have questions, still face responsibilities, still carry concerns about life, family, work, and the future. But now you are not carrying them the same way, because you are no longer carrying them alone, and that is the difference my presence makes. I am teaching you to live from a place of trust rather than pressure, from faith rather than fear, and from hope rather than exhaustion. And this transformation is not rushed, because lasting growth is gentle, deep, and steady. My child, I want you to understand that the peace you feel now is not temporary or fragile. It is something you can return to again and again when you choose to come to me, to speak honestly, to rest willingly, and to remember the truths I have placed in your heart. There will still be days when emotions rise, when doubts whisper, when circumstances feel heavy again. And that does not mean this renewal was false or weak. It simply means you are human, and I will meet you again in those moments just as faithfully as I meet you now. You are learning that faith is not about never struggling, but about knowing where to turn when you do, and I will always be that place of refuge, that steady presence, that unchanging love. I am completing a work in you that is shaping your character, strengthening your spirit, and aligning your heart with what truly matters. And though the world around you may continue to move quickly and demand much from you, you no longer need to be driven by urgency or comparison, because your life is unfolding according to my purpose, not human timelines. Trust that I am guiding you wisely, providing what you need daily, and opening the right doors at the right time. And even when you do not see immediate results, remember that seeds planted in faith will grow in their proper season. My beloved, let this moment become something you carry forward, a reminder that you are seen, known, guided, and deeply loved. And whenever you feel weak again, lost again, delayed again, or afraid again, return to these truths, return to me, and let me strengthen you once more. Walk forward with a calmer heart, make your choices with peace rather than panic, and rest in the assurance that I am with you in every step ahead, and I will not fail you now or ever. If this message touched your heart and you want to continue walking with me through more moments like this, subscribe to this channel and stay close, because I will keep speaking life, hope, and peace into your journey.